Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Repeat Ron, and today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different. Today we're going to be talking about the skill-based matchmaking in Dead by Daylight, because I have gotten quite a few requests to cover this, as well as quite a few comments whenever I've been streaming Dead by Daylight about the new matchmaking system and what my thoughts are on it, and what my experience has been so far doing it. So before skill-based matchmaking was enabled, I was, I believe, red rank killer and red rank survivor. I have hit max rank multiple times pretty consistently with killer. I've never been red rank 1 with survivor, at least what it used to be. So I have not done that, nor did I do it with this latest season because I simply wasn't playing the game as much as I had in previous seasons. So my experience so far compared to when the rank system actually was in place has really not changed all that much, I would say. It's changed more for me playing Survivor than it has me playing Killer. And I think that's simply because of how the matchmaking system works now. So for anybody unaware of how the matchmaking system works, or at least as far as we know of how much it works, it doesn't really work, at least in a fully functional way, or in a way that considers all variables, which is kind of a problem for this game if you want to have skill-based matchmaking in it, first off, this game feels really weird to be putting skill-based matchmaking in. The way that we kind of understand how the matchmaking works now is that this is more like a 1v1 game, or at least it accounts for all of the 1v1 interactions between the killer and survivor. And essentially, you just get more MMR if you're going up against another high-ranked either killer or survivor team, or I guess individual survivors. And then either as a survivor you escape, or as the killer you kill them. That's it. That's all that we really know, which doesn't really necessarily show how skilled you are as playing survivor or playing as killer. You can go hide in a corner as, Claudette tier 3. Nobody's ever going to see you and just wait for your whole team to die and then you escape. Or wait for your whole team to do all of the gens and then you just escape. That doesn't necessarily make that you're a good survivor, but by the skill-based matchmaking you are, which is kind of an issue. And if you're just a camping, tunneling killer, then you're also considered probably a pretty good killer too by the matchmaking system. It doesn't take much to actually kill people in this game as the killer. It's very easy to do that, especially with certain killers like Leatherface is a great example of this, where all you have to do is down one person, put them on a hook, and just sit there and face camp them. There's nothing anybody can do. Then you can just get kills, and you can also get kills if you just want to run like NOED or something like that, and then if you've only downed one person or hooked one person, the whole survivor team is probably just going to be hanging around there because they're bored out of their minds since you chased one guy the entire match while they just sat on gens. And then maybe your NOED could come in clutch and you get 2 or 3 kills, in which case then technically you beat them or something. It's very odd since this doesn't seem to be correlated with how high you can actually go with the rank system, because that seems to factor in more things like actual chases, hits, but then even so, if you're playing certain killers, that doesn't matter. Good example of this again would be Leatherface. You chase somebody down, you hit them once with a chainsaw, well, you didn't really chase somebody because you didn't hit them multiple times and didn't start the chase. So it's very odd the way that this works. Some people have said that they've been running into more sweaty killers, sweaty teams when they've been playing killer. I really haven't. Most people are complaining that you see the most meta perks, which you did before this update, and you certainly were going to after the update, and you still will after even this next update. It's not going to be uncommon to see Borrowed Time, DS, Unbreakable, Dead Hard, Sprint Burst, Adrenaline. The usual survivor perks, and the same goes the other way for killers. It's not going to be unusual for you to see Rune, Undying, Tinker, Pop. Trying to think of other ones that killers run pretty often. Corrupt, the usual type of things. I guess NOED, you might see NOED more often now. You are already seeing these things at high ranks anyway, and you see the same survivors at high ranks, so this isn't all that unusual to be playing against the same people, running the same things. It's probably better now for anybody who actually really likes playing Survivor, which I kind of do now at the moment. It's actually kind of fun, because you can play various like meme builds and stuff. You don't actually have to go with the most meta things. And you don't really get rewarded for going with the most meted things. You don't get rewarded with the new matchmaking system. So I don't think that anybody should take it all that seriously. When people are only playing like the best stuff to play against other people that are playing the best stuff and the best killers with the best items, the best map offerings and everything like that, what do you really gain from that? You just get harder and harder matches. You get more sweaty matches that you are playing in Dead by Daylight. Doesn't make the most amount of sense to me. I know some people did this right away because they were afraid of losing MMR, even though you can't actually see the MMR, so just say that you're max MMR. That's a pretty good solution for this. Sorry, I went off topic there. Going back to the thing that this MMR system, I guess, favors the most is probably casual players that play Survivor pretty often. Because in regular matches, you might have survivors that are not that great. They don't really know how to run the killer all that well. They may run to where other people are working on gens. They may try to hide when the killer's nearby. They may hide for a very long time, so they're just not getting any progress or work done. But these survivors probably benefit from the system the most because you're getting killers that are probably also fairly new or aren't really all that great. Maybe they don't have a great connection or something like that. And you're also getting potential survivor friends that are probably really good survivors, but just simply don't care about the MMR system. They're going to build meme builds. They're going to be taking flashlights into games. They're going to be trying to flashbang the killer constantly. They're going to be trying to do, just as many fun things as possible so that the killer will chase them. And that's great for any of the survivors that are, real scared because the survivor that knows what he's doing isn't getting killed, and he's having the killer chase him for forever until he finally gets hooked once, and then somebody can come and save him. So they at least get some gens done. They at least get some objectives done. And the game's a bit more fun for them because they're not either dead right away or hiding for the majority of the match. So I really haven't changed the way that I've played at all in Dead by Daylight. I still pretty regularly give people hatch. I usually try to go after everybody so that I can hook them multiple times. Sometimes that's not super easy. I've actually had multiple games recently where, for whatever reason, the whole team was wearing the same skin and I was just getting confused on people. So I ended up tunneling a few people every once in a while just because I couldn't tell. But aside from that, the games have been okay. I wish the killer queues were not as long as they are now. Even when I'm playing killers that I don't play that often, I still get pretty long queues. That's another part of the matchmaking system where now you have a cap of how much MMR you can get. And then this is based on your player account, I guess. And then that is scaled back to any killers that you don't play very often or that are low leveled. So if you hit the cap, then you're at 1900 MMR, at least as far as we know, although some people have speculated that it can go past that, but I'm honestly not sure if that's true or not. I kind of feel like behavior wouldn't put the time and effort to do that. Then the killers that you don't play very often or that are new to you wouldn't be playing at 1900, you'd be playing at 1700 MMR, which then they could potentially go up or I guess go down. I'm not really sure because I think this is based on your highest killer that you play. So if you play one killer very often, let's say you're a really good Billy and you max out MMR with Billy, then if you switch over to Wraith and you don't play Wraith at all, you're still going to be going against people that are kind of similar to what you were going against with Billy, but now you're going against it with Wraith. And that could or could not be an issue for you depending on how you play. So that's kind of interesting. Survivor's MMR is just set regardless of what Survivor you're playing. That also seems a little bit weird to me because if you've already prestiged a Survivor or if you're just low ranks in general, I feel like you should have a reduction in that if you're playing that specific Survivor because you simply don't have the levels on it to probably get good perks. Maybe not as dramatically as the killer one is, but maybe a little bit less if you're, trying to play Ash or something like that and you just have Ash's basic 3 perks and that's it. I honestly don't know how well that would work though, because you could unlock some really great things early on as Survivor and be, just as good on that person as you are on every other Survivor. So it depends. That would be more perk based. And I seriously doubt that they're ever going to implement a great system into Dead by Daylight for the matchmaking, simply because of the time and effort that it would take to actually make that type of system. You would have to account for things like how many times did you hook people, what perks are you running, what killer are you running, Are you playing Survivor with Survive with Friends? Are you playing Survivor solo? Are you playing with a map offering? Are you playing with an item? Are you playing with the strong add-ons? All of those would have to be in account for this, as well as, how well did you actually do in the match? How long did you chase somebody? How long did you get chased by the killer? How long did you sit on a generator? If you ran the killer the entire game, you should get way more points for doing that than you would for just sitting on a gen the entire game. There's too many factors in Dead by Daylight. There's too much stuff going on that you're never going to make a system that actually works that way. The devs actually said that themselves in the live stream, which kind of brings up the question as to why did they put the skill-based matchmaking in the game in the first place then, but whatever. It is what it is right now, and I guess we're stuck with it, but at least Pinhead's fun to play, so that's kind of an upside. Tell me what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm sure that they are probably not the best when it comes to the skill-based matchmaking. And tell me what your games have been like. Have they been more or less the same? Have you been against more sweaty people? Have you had more tough games? Have you had more fair games? Both as Survivor and as Killer. For me, I've had pretty much the same games as with Killer as I did previously, so that's not too surprising, but I feel like I've had a little bit easier games as Survivor and some more fun games where I'm seeing some actual fun killers to play against, like Billy every once in a while. Thanks for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys found this entertaining in some way. If you guys did and you'd like to see me cover more stuff on Dead by Daylight, be sure to tell me about that down in the comments below, as well as be sure to subscribe. That way you get notifications whenever I post these videos. Thanks everybody who does that. I really do appreciate it. And special thanks to all of the members and patrons over here on this channel. I really do appreciate that too. If you would like to be a part of that, there are links down in the description. And if you would like to see more of my Dead by Daylight stuff, be sure to click over here on this playlist. That should take you to a full playlist of Dead by Daylight related stuff. I'm not sure what it will be actually. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Bye!